So tonight's Sinday session is about divination. So I'm going to do my very best and talk to you about that. First, let me introduce myself. Many of you do not know who I am. I am Crystal Nicholas, and I am in the Utica area, specifically Whitesboro, but doesn't matter. And I have been off scene for a while due to the fact that I've been working 2 jobs and working through my brother's wedding and a big mess. All that's gone now, so here I am for you. And it's very lovely to meet you all. So a little bit about myself. Mid-30s, crazy witch, cat lady. Even got the crazy cat earrings. Now I have 2 cats. And I realized at a very young age in my teens that I was meant to follow the pagan path. I'm still exploring what particular path, so I just like to say I'm eclectic, and I love to learn everything there is to learn about paganism. And one topic that really just jazzes me up is divination. So here I am to talk about that. If you have any other questions about me, I'd be happy to answer. But let's get started on Sinday School. Okay. That being said, I'm stuck. Ouch. Sorry, my leg was stuck under my chair. All right. Hi, Jennifer. Hi, Christine. All right. As the viewers are rolling in and we are getting started, I'm going to flip the camera around and show you the desk. This is what I've set up for you all to see. So let me flip it around. I'm going to stand up here, give it some light. So here are some types. Well, I was going to try to make this real nice with the candle and everything, but it turns out not that much good lighting. Okay, so here's what we have going on. I have runes, astrology dice, different types of cards from tarot, gypsy witch, oracle, the crystal ball, which I'll reveal in a little bit, the cauldron, which has about 1 billion different uses, book about numerology, pendulum. So, that said, flip you back around, and let's chat. So, how many of you think you know how many ways of divination there are? If you could give a number, what would it be? Well, I'll tell you that tonight we're not even doing a fraction of that. What I just showed out to you is just a small amount. But if you Google or look up or pull out a book about divination, I'll just give you a little reference here. I printed it out. I have approximately 160 on this little sheet packet here. 160 different ways of reaching out to the unknown. So that's exciting, I think. Everybody has their own calling, their own methods of finding answers. So let's tap into that. Okay, so what you saw here, let's start with, well, you know what? Let's start with what I started with. I mean, why not, right? Okay, so I started out with runes. I don't know why they called out to me first, and I made my own. Weird. But, so the different types of runes, stone or wood, I think the original traditional, don't quote me, was wood. So I made mine, and They're all these little, I just took a little branch and sliced out little discs, engraved them, you know, and marked them as my own. I took the Furthark. I am terrible at pronouncing things, so I do apologize for those that get offended with butchering words, because that's me. You should have seen me try to pronounce the Sabbats. Ugh. Okay, moving on. So, we have runes. Runes, much like, tarot decks and oracle decks and things of that nature, are a good way of predicting answers, futures, and pasts. I have a couple great books on runes. This one is highly recommended by Lisa Peschel. Again. And it breaks it down pretty simply. I'm all about simple learning the best way possible. And so it gives the pictures of each one, breaks down meanings in the end. Hi, Rosa! In the back, there is types of ways to make your own runes. Highly suggests it. How to do your readings, simple readings, complicated readings, examples. So that wonderful, wonderful book, if you get a chance, that's the one I recommend. And go with the rune set that calls out to you the best. And I also have, oh no, I dropped a stone. I also have this book right here. I have not honestly delved into it yet, but it did call out to me. It has some excellent pictures. I like pictures. Like a 2-year-old, I like pictures. And wonderful meanings inside. It's a used book, so it has somebody's notes in there, and honestly, I don't mind other people's notes, because that's how us witches have learned in the past, is we learn and grow from previous pagans and witches. That's how we became us. We learn from somebody else. So I'll accept other people's notes. It's good stuff. Moving on from runes. I hope you all liked runes. If you have any questions, let me know. Okay, something brand new. I haven't even started learning about it yet. I didn't even really know it was a thing. I have a monthly subscription box with a pagan website. I don't want to name drop it. You can ask me later or something. But anyways, it's called Astrology Dice. So I received this. I think it's a beautiful set of dice. Blue, green, and purple. Some of my favorites. And it's used to answer questions. So if you have a basic question, it's going to work for you. Hopefully. So just looking at this, I'm opening it with you for the first time. We have, hi Amy, hi Jordan, thank you. So it says the blue one is for the planets, the purple one for the house, and green one for the zodiac. That's the rough down of this. It gives you all sorts of information on each die. I think it's awesome. I can't wait to tap into it. So that's another one. Another very, very popular one, form of divination, for those just joining, is... crash and burn. Sorry. Obviously, I'm using my cell phone. I do have my laptop set up, but that was really to read the comments, because it's been a while since I've done a live feed and forget how it's done sometimes. Clearly, I'm not a professional here. I'm here for you, though. Moving on. Pendulums. Pendulums are pretty known. So I'm just going through some of the most popular, well-known forms of divination that probably most of us have one or two of. And as I said, if you Google, there's a lot. Find the one that calls out to you. I didn't even see it on there, and I'm going to go through some of those with you that I don't have here, just to kind of name drop some more forms of divination. But I even once had a reading done by a woman who did it with feathers, and that was really exciting. The feathers were all laid out. They were different colors and sizes, and they were just beautiful. And you pick them and lay them out, and she reads them based on how you laid them out and what each feather kind of means, and it's really wonderful. I thought it was a great experience. I can't say yet if she was right or wrong. It wasn't that long ago. Some things have been pretty accurate, so it was nice. Back to pendulums, because I digress. Please yell at me if I'm being too... All right. Pendulums. So I have, with every form of divination, I have found A, there's a book on it, which is great. B, there's usually this one for beginners. So I have the pendulum one for beginners. But there's all sorts of big books, small books, long books, you know, books. So I'll show you a really basic pendulum. I just got it in my magic mail. And I find it's very lovely. It called out to me. It's a rose quartz with a clear quartz globe sphere on top. This is your basic average pendulum. Even has a tiny little sphere on top here, the chain. And then I will show you the first pendulum I ever got, and I went way above and beyond and got it custom made, and it's all, and, well, lovely. You don't need to go to this extreme, but I'm going to show it, and I'm glad I have both now to show the extremes. This one, as I was saying how much I love blue and the lapis stone, it's a lapis lazuli. God, don't shoot me. Okay. Has the top with that beautiful charm. All sorts of wonderful beads. If that'll zoom in correctly. I don't know. Okay. Very lovely, very extreme. You don't need all this, but it's awesome. Pendulum. Okay, so I'm going to flip the camera around, show you something else that goes along. You don't necessarily need this either, but this is something that generally goes along with pendulums. It's a board, but this one's, you know, cloth. You have your yes swing, your no swing, unknown or rephrase, and maybe. I think this is a very lovely cloth. It came from, you know, the magic box. And I have seen all sorts of boards from extreme, large, small, a lot of different things on there. You don't need it. It's nice to have. In fact, when you start reading with your pendulum, I'm sorry, I'm moving my phone. But when you start reading with the pendulum, it does straight out say that you want to start training your pendulum to you. So you do your basic, ask it to go yes or, you know, yes, no. Obviously, I'm doing this myself. And you train it. And it'll tell you in the books how to do so, but it's pretty, the basic gist to it is you center yourself, you get in tune with your crystal, with your stone, maybe lay with it at night to gain a connection, but then you would close your eyes, hold it as still as possible, try to connect with it, and ask it a question. And with the question, when you're starting out, to train it, you say, show me yes, and it should go the correct way, and it does. And then you'd say, show me no, and it should readjust and go the correct way. I'm messing with it apparently, so I don't know if it will. And so on and so forth. So that's how you train it. And then from there, you can use the board or just ask it because you know the direction. You don't need to have the board. Now that I've digressed off that, I feel like the next thing we have is scrying. Scrying can be done in a couple different ways. Again, pardon me for my nose. It's off the charts right now. Thank you so much, Ashley. I appreciate any help because I'm kind of like just getting back into the webcasting swing of it all, so I could always use the help. Thanks. It was only good for love dowsing. Oh, Pardon me while I read the comments. Love it, love it, love it. Appreciate you. All right, so scrying. Scrying is a couple different ways. Scrying can be done with a crystal ball. Also can be done by looking into like a black bowl, which is one reason why I brought out the little cauldron. I set it on my soapstone, soapstone, I am terrible tonight. I do apologize. I set it on this normally because if I put a disc, charcoal disc or something, and I light some incense, it's good to have it on something safe because this thing will get so very hot. But anyways, I set it on that. You can fill this up with water, any kind of black dish, a mirror, things of that nature, or the very lovely, very awesome crystal ball. And with that, I have a few books. Of course, Scrying for Beginners, Crystal Ball Gazing, and this one, which is kind of old, but I don't know, I love it. It calls to me. I just love this book. I haven't gotten all the way through it. I have a tissue for a bookmarker. Don't mind that. Crystal Ball and Crystal Bowls. It's a great book. Anyways, there's a couple of books for scrying. I'm just going to move this stuff and I'm going to show you the crystal ball. So I'm still learning on the crystal ball. I'm not going to begin to even tell you what it can and can't do. But what I am here to tell you is it's a nice form of divination. I'm brave. Ah, thank you. Not feeling brave right now, let me tell you. All right. I'm trying to turn this so you can see this at its best. Okay. Don't fall. Hi, everyone. Okay. So, I'm only going to do a quick glimpse of this because I keep it covered so the spirits cannot enter at will. Okay? And I even have it chalked with a pentagram. Okay. So, for quick gazing purposes only, here is my crystal ball. Quick peek enough, I hope. All right. But that's a crystal ball. This is obviously gargantuan. They come in all sizes, shapes, colors, and stones. It's all, again, what speaks to you. With every one of these forms of divination, it's all what calls to you. What, just like anything in life, what hobby, what craft are you best at is the same with divination. So I have every form, like all these forms, because I have been trying to find the one that calls out to me. I have a few of these that call out pretty good. Also, I think they're great. Each one works for different things. I have found, for example, my Oracle deck to be the wisest thus far. Pardon me, my nose. I'm so very sorry. I'm so sorry. Hello again. Okay, so my oracle deck, I'll show you this here in a minute. It goes by the goddess Nyx. I find her to be completely blunt. She'll tell you what you need to know. You may not like it, but if you don't listen, she's kind of like, told you, you know, and that's great. That's what I like in a deck. And believe me, I learned. I asked her something, didn't get the answer I liked. I said, doing it anyways, and she was right. Should have listened. Moving on. So that's one card deck. We also have tarot decks. I have a tarot deck here. It is a newbie deck. I hate to say that word newbie, but it is. It is a very beginner's deck. It has an intro book. It has an intro CD. It's very explanatory. It's great. And it's a pretty deck. So that's tarot. I'm not getting into much about these, but I mean, these are the ones you guys should have a gist of what they are. Brand new to me. Cannot wait to try the Gypsy Magic card deck. It is actually, so sorry, actually a card deck. It has the learning notes on each card, has a little learning booklet inside. Just got these a couple days ago. Super stoked to try them. And the reason I say this is when I was younger, my now mother's husband used to do readings on a card deck, and that's how I was first introduced to tarot and the card decks, because he would do that, and he would do it with everybody that came in and around us, and I thought it was the coolest thing. And ever since then, as I've been exploring my realm of divination, I've always had that in the back of my mind, like, I still want to learn how we did it off a plain old card deck. And now, had no idea this was going to be in my magic mail. I received it. I'm beyond stoked, because I feel like finally, he was the first one I called and told that I got this. I'm like, I'm gonna learn your secret. He was happy. We now have something to bond over. Not that we didn't before, but anyways, just another form of cards. So you can learn from regular cards, tarot cards, oracle cards. Another form, and we're just about done of what I have forms of, is numerology. It's like a forever old book. I've always had it. See, I told you I always had this calling for paganism, but I didn't know until I started looking at my own collection of books and things. But finding the future revealed via the numbers in your life. That also goes along with palmistry, where you can read the lines. Okay, so that, moving on. Just gonna kind of thumb through the 160 of these. I'm not doing 160, but a couple of these that I found that some of you should recognize as other forms of divination. And see what maybe you're into, what you could look up. Like I said, there's a book for everything. And just like the group logo says, there is a witch for that. So I'm sure if you have any questions in regards to a certain form of divination that maybe they excel at, that they could give you advice on to help you along your journey of that particular, they could help you. If not, I could probably show you exactly where to go, to who to get help from. I'm very good at finding people. So, for the few of you that are still there, here's a few more that I found that I feel like you would be familiar with. Astrology. If you didn't know, that is a form of divination. Uses placement of planets and stars at a person's time of birth and their birth charts. I'm just going to go through kind of one of each letter-ish that I haven't already covered. Mirror scrying, we did that. That's actually called, according to this list, which, by the way, let me quote, this list is credited to Kate White. I told you I got it off the internet, but I'm going to give credit where credit is due. So, mirror scrying, to bring visions to yourself, is called Cato. I should have practiced this ahead of time. Hold on. Catomancy. It's a P-T-R-O in the middle there. So, however you say that, that's how you pronounce the word. I'm sorry. Okay. Casting using dice. That's what I'm going to call these. That's called Claromancy. Sometimes you can use bones. I don't know, voodoo, Louisiana, people who practice voodoo sometimes will use bones of different kinds. So that's, you can use 2 die, 1 die, 3 die system. This is obviously a 3 die system, and it uses astrology as its backing. So there's obviously, I'm sure, several other different types of reading with die and bones. Using crystals or a crystal ball. Now, I hope you all have crystals. You don't have to, but I mean, I'm a junkie on them. And when I do any form of divination, I always set them out. So I don't know if you saw them when I was showing you the table, but I generally always have my clear quartz crystal pyramid. I think she's lovely, and a pyramid is just so, to me, powerful to have during a reading. It's channeling, channeling the energies down, much like the conical hat, bringing it to you. So, and of course, my lapis stones are all over the place, and I always have my amethyst stones. So those are all, I generally have those 3. And lastly, a protecting stone. I have my black tourmaline. Okay, I diverted there, but that had to do with crystals, so I didn't divert too far, I guess, right? Okay. Hi, everyone. Hi, Penny. Hi, Jules. Welcome to my crazy Sinday session. I'm wrapping up, but I'm just going through the list that I one time forever ago Googled that goes through different forms of divination. I had shown here, give or take, 10-15 forms that I own personally, whether it be book or other. And I'm just going through some other forms here on the list that perhaps others have or have heard of, just to kind of give reference at the amount of ways one can divinate and that may work for themselves. Okay, so another one is called Furcola. Again, I apologize for butchering any word. I am just terrible. But answering or receiving a wish by pulling apart the wishbone. So did you know, fun fact, you all have probably been doing this divination form since you were children. Pulling the wishbone after Thanksgiving, after it's dried, you hung it up. How many have done that? I've been doing it since I was a child. Had no idea until I thumbed through this that was a form of divination. So you make a wish, you snap the bone, whoever gets the biggest gets their wish. Okay. Another one, an example, is another scrying. And I thought this one's neat to point out because it's scrying, and we kind of discussed that a little bit. But this one is looking into a drop of blood. But that's called hemomancy. Scrying with blood. It's a thing. Googled it. There are lots, and I have heard even, no judgment, I have heard people even use period blood for forms of divination and spell casting. So kudos to you. I'm not frowning upon it. I don't judge, but I personally I don't even like dealing with it when it comes around monthly. So more power, emphasis on power to you if you are brave enough and confident enough to do that for yourself. That being said, moving on to the next topic in the divination keyboard here. Looking into a flame of a candle or a lamp is called lampadomancy. Fun fact. Okay, another fun fact. Did you know? When the woodchuck on February 2nd calls out whether or not we're going to have 6 more weeks of winter, that is divination. That has a name. Marmotomancy. Just wanted to let you know that's on here. That's your second fun fact of this viewing. Just a couple more that I pointed out here that you might know about. Necromancy is divining through various forms of communication with the dead. I am not gifted with that, but I know many who are, and I find it very fascinating. They are able to see spirits around them, feel spirits around them. I mean, I find that outstanding because it really leads to questions, you know, and questions are always good in my book. But anywho, there are many people that are very gifted with that ability, and if you don't have it, don't fret. You just don't have it. Again, 160 plus ways of reaching into your own bag of gifts. If you can't see the other side, that's why we need each other. Let's see. Oldest form of divination is interpreting dreams. I love this one. And I have a book for that. Can you tell? Okay. But that, if you're very good at that, if that's something that calls to you, that is another form. Going real back to the spirit information, the Ouija board. You can use your pendulum or the triangle eye. Don't shoot me. I don't use the Ouija board. I've always been afraid of it as a kid. As I've grown older, I'm not afraid of it. I'm just wiser to it. You don't mess with what you can't handle. I personally cannot handle that. I'm not knowledgeable or strong enough to deal with what I don't know. So I stay away. More power to those that can and do. But that is a form of divination. So it's being mentioned here today for you. Okay. If I'm nuts, I'm sorry. That's me. I already mentioned palmistry. Awesome stuff. What I like about palmistry is, just like other things, you're working with what the gods gave you. Your hands are given to you. They have lines on them for a reason. They grow, they shrink, and thanks, Michelle. And they're there. So we witches, we diviners, utilize that and the power within to share knowledge. I find that outstanding. So I'm strongly pro palmistry. That's all I got on that. Pyromancy. The reason when I said just candles and a lamp for the other one was because pyromancy is specifically looking at the shapes and pictures in a fire. So it doesn't necessarily mean candle or lamp. This one's more bigger. A bonfire, more than just single flame. Mention runes. Have some runes. Runes come in stones or wood. Glad somebody does. I feel like I'm losing it. It could be my nerves. Didn't drink enough liquid courage. I lost it, honestly. I don't even know where my beer went. Thank you, though. Okay, Scrying. I'm glad I went over most of these before I brought this out. Okay. Scrying using a glass or mirror. I mentioned that, but that specific name, according to this list, is speculomancy. I'm all about the fun facts. Okay. Tarot. And there's a couple, because just funsies, there's a couple U, X, and Z names. So I'm just going to mention them because I think that's awesome. Weird, I know. Euromancy. See if you can guess. 3 seconds. Ready? Okay. You examine urine. Okay, no judgment. I shouldn't be laughing. This is legit. But you use urine and divines the direction and spray from said urine. So, that's something. Xylomancy, spelled with an XY, is divination by tossing bundles of dry sticks, observing the fallen patterns. That's pretty cool. Pretty cool. And 2 Z names here. We have Sinday, I hope is the way you say it, Z-A-N-D-E, is leaves inserted in an anthill, and which side is eaten first determines the yes or no answer. I feel like that's a long time to wait for an answer. By then you might already have your answer. Okay. And perhaps maybe you'd need a fire ant hill for that. Pardon. Those black ants don't really consume like that. I don't know. Again, I don't know, obviously, every form of divination. I'm just here to go over forms, enlighten you to the fact that there are many that can call out to each and every one of you. I feel that personally, each of us have a gift inside them for their own form. So, this mini intro class to divination, I hope has helped you. If you saw anything on my altar that you might have a question about, I do have a couple things I didn't point out. I think I have, there's the Witch's Cauldron book. Really awesome little book, and it gives you like the hundreds of ways to use your cauldron. And your cauldron doesn't have to be the good old-fashioned large cauldron. It can just be this cute little guy right here. And I should say girl because I'm pretty sure it's a feminine object on your altar. But y'all can smack me later. I'm not the best witch in the world. But I'm the witch here for you tonight. Okay. That said, this may or may not be considered divination. I was debating on whether to put it in here, and I didn't see it in my paperwork, but I made this. Jules, you might recognize this if you're still there. But this is a voodoo doll. And I guess you can't consider it divination, but in a form you're expressing your energy and someone else's energy into your doll, into your creation here, and then utilizing pins and other features to make things happen. So, there's that. And so if you're interested about that, that's a whole new realm of things. And 2 other things that were here on my altar besides the stones that I was kind of showing you. Oh, wait. Okay, just for funsies. I'm sorry. Digress completely. But my new stone, I got it yesterday. It's a form of a jasper stone. And it's like a palm stone, but it's a little bigger and rounder. And it totally, love it. Okay, just had to point that out. Had to put it on my thing here for you today. Had to keep my juices going. Okay, I am a stone freak, if you haven't noticed. Okay, last one. And then I gotta get to the last Z name. Just cuz. Astral projection. Love it. Love it, love it. Okay, I don't really know if you consider this divination, but I think this is something for people to look into if they ever want to. But I think the first step to astral projection is being able to not drop the book. Okay, okay. Is to be able to properly meditate. Now, that is a class all on its own. Witches out there who want to do their own Sinday school. But meditation can happen differently for everyone. And the just key secret to it, you don't necessarily have to be shutting your mind off, as some people claim they have issues to, myself, but it's just finding your center and your way to float away. So however that is your form of meditation. You find that, and I think then, this is all personal opinion, but hi Sue, thanks for joining. Then, when you find your center, you can start to explore astral projection, because you have to be comfortable in your spiritual self to go out spiritually. And that's what that's about. So that's the gist of that. If you didn't know, now you know. Okay, to wrap this up, I'm going to hit the last Z and then see if anybody has a question. And I'm not... I know I wasn't phenomenal at any of this, but I just hope I opened your eyes to just some of the many, obviously many forms of divination there are out there, and to help you know that there's a form in there for you. Each and every one of you has a little witch inside yourself that can excel at something here. So, last but not least, zoomancy. Zoomancy. Divination by observing the movement and behavior of animals. Thought that was pretty obvious by the name, but it was the last Z, the last one on the list. This has been your September 9th, 8th, where are we? The 8th, 2019 Sinday School session. Brought to you by Crystal Nicholas. And my new hat. Thank you, Cracker Barrel. But seriously though, this is a topic that's near and dear to my heart. As you can see, I have many different forms, and they are not just for fun. They're serious. They call to the spirits around us to help us answer questions we don't know, to help us answer questions for others around us that need help answering questions, and find the one that sits well with you and grow with it, learn it, play with it, and I don't think you'll ever be sorry. So I hope, that being said, you weren't sorry sitting here for this 45 minutes with me, 50 minutes, and I love you all, and I hope to chat with you more. And if you're in the Utica area, come see me. I didn't mean it like that. That sounded weird. But say hi if you see me around the area. And if nobody has any questions, much love and kisses. Blessed be my fellow witches.